Sahih Bukhari 28. Book 2, Hadith 21. Narrated Abdullah bin Amr. A person asked Allah's Messenger, "What sort of deeds in or what qualities of Islam are good?" He replied, "To feed the poor and greet those whom you know and those whom you don't know." Ibn Hajar's explanation. His saying, propagating the greetings, salam, is part of Islam. Propagating the greeting includes doing so openly or secretly, which also coincides with his saying, to those you know and those you don't know. The propagation of salam was also verified in an earlier narration. However, the author, al-Bukhari, doesn't repeat narrations unless each was relayed through a different chain of narration. Al-Bukhari uses his ability to extract rulings and interpret narrations in ways that others were not able to accomplish. It is clear that he intended to show that Iman consists of different branches by dedicating certain chapters to particular branches of Iman. His saying, "and spends in the way of Allah, even when he is poor." In the narration, the word al-Iqtar means when he has little. Abu al-Zanad ibn Siraj and others said that whoever combines between these three characteristics attains complete Iman, because a person who fulfills the rights of people will not fail to fulfill the rights of his Lord, which are obligatory upon him, nor will he indulge in what has been prohibited. Such a person has achieved the pillars of Iman. Spreading the greetings of salam is a part of good character and humbleness, and it brings about unity and love. Giving charity in times of hardship proves a high level of generosity. The one who gives charity, even though he himself is in need, is certain to give even more generously when his wealth increases. Giving charity is broad, spending on one's family in ways that are obligatory and/or preferred, and spending for one's guests and visitors are part of charity. Giving in times of hardship proves trust in Allah and detachment from the worldly life. The wisdom and combination of short expressions carrying extensive and complete meaning are proof of the authenticity of this narration. Sahih Bukhari 29. Book 2, Hadith 22. Narrated Ibn Abbas. The Prophet said, "I was shown the hellfire and that the majority of its dwellers were women who were ungrateful." It was asked, "Do they disbelieve in Allah? Or are they ungrateful to Allah?" He replied, "They are ungrateful to their husbands and are ungrateful for the favors and the good, charitable deeds done to them. If you have always been good, benevolent, to one of them and then she sees something in you, not of her liking, she will say, 'I have never received any good from you.'" Ibn Hajar's explanation. His saying, chapter, on women's ingratitude to their husbands, and the lesser kufr. Al-Qaid Abu Bakr ibn al-Arb said, the author intended to show that just as good deeds are referred to as iman, belief, evil actions can be called kufr, disbelief. But this is not the kufr which deems a person outside the realm of Islam. The Prophet chose women's ingratitude towards their husbands because of its severity. The Prophet said, "Had I ordered any person to prostrate to another person, I would have ordered the woman to prostrate to her husband." So he associated the rights of the husband upon his wife with the rights of Allah. If a woman falls short in fulfilling the rights of her husband, then she is falling short in fulfilling the rights of Allah. Although the term kufr is used, it isn't referring to the kufr that causes a person to fall outside the fold of Islam. It may be understood from his words that kufr is the opposite of iman. In another narration, the Prophet once said to a group of women, "Give charity, as I have seen you, women, to be the most numerous of the people of the fire." So they asked, "Why is that, O Messenger of Allah?" He responded, "You curse often and are ungrateful towards your husbands." The narration of this chapter from Ibn Abbas is part of a longer narration that the author recorded in the chapter on the Kusuf, eclipse, prayer, and will be explained there. Benefits. 1. Al-Bukhari leans towards the permissibility of using only part of a narration, as long as the meaning is not reliant upon the rest of the narration in a way which would distort the meaning. He began this narration with the statement of the Prophet, "I was shown the fire," whereas the entire narration begins with Ibn Abbas stating, "There was once an eclipse during the life of the Prophet," and he continued on to relay the incident of the eclipse prayer followed by the sermon of the Prophet during it. So someone counting the narrations may mistakenly assume that a certain narration is two or more narrations. This caused some scholars, such as Ibn Salah and Mihi ad-Din, to say that he, al-Bukhari, recorded approximately 4,000 narrations. However, in reality he only recorded a total of 2,513, as explained in the introduction. 2. Al-Bukhari does not repeat narrations except for a beneficial purpose. The benefit is derived either from the chain of narrators, the narration itself, or both. We benefit from this reference to the narration, from Abdullah ibn Maslama, that the term kufr, disbelief, is used at times referring to evil actions. He later makes reference to this narration with the same chain, in the chapter on the one who prays while there is fire in front of him. In that reference, he limited what was mentioned to the relevant topic. Also, the entire narration was recorded in the chapter on the eclipse prayer. Next, he recorded it in the chapter on the beginning of the creation, including reference to the sun and the moon as transmitted by a different narrator. Finally, he recorded it in the chapter on the companionship of women. Nonetheless, he, Al-Bukhari, rarely records the same part of a narration in two different places.